Hey folks, it's Pat with Bird Brain Model Rails again. In this episode, we're going to discuss soldering your rail joiners to your track. Now, I've seen a lot of questions in reference to the type of soldering iron, the type of solder, things of that nature. There's only a few things you need, and everybody remember this. You don't need to buy an expensive soldering iron. This particular iron is actually part of a wood burning kit that I bought for $20 at Harbor Freight Tools. It comes with several tips for wood burning and a few tips for soldering. I prefer this fine tip that's on the end of this one. The next thing you're going to need, of course, is solder. I use a 60-40 blend of rosin core solder. Doesn't matter where it comes from, Radio Shack, whoever. I'm sure Radio Shack's out of business. The next and most important thing you need is flux. Mine is lead-free, water-based, and it's a paste. So to give you an idea, it looks like this. Now, for an applicator, some guys like to use brushes. I just use a little bitty piece of balsa wood just as an applicator for my flux. So my iron is already hot. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply flux to these areas here, 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 and here. So bear with me a second while I do that. I'm just going to stick this in here like so. I just lay some flux right there where my rails join, just like so. And do it on this side, in here. You don't need a whole lot. You really don't. I'm going to come over here to this section and do this right here, just like so. Just lay some flux in there. And again, right here, which is going to go right through the center of that rail where it connects. Okay, now, the nice thing about the flux that I use is, again, it's water-based. So, when I touch my soldering iron, well, before I get there, the next thing you want to do is you want to tin the tip of your soldering iron. Just like so. So I'm plugged in. So give me there we go. See that heat up? There. That's all I need, just a little bit of solder on the tip of my iron. Now, I'm going to apply the iron to my flux, like so. I'm going to bring my solder in and touch that and just run it right across that rail like so. And you'll notice that solder literally flows like water. It's that easy, guys. Now I'm going to do the other three. So we're going to go here, like so. If you can see this with my arm in the way, bear with me a sec. Let's come in here and apply that solder. It's running along the outside of that rail, like so. Just like that. And it's going to flow right into the side of that rail for me. And that's done. Okay, action, yep, let's see. Now I'll get a little bit more over here, just a touch here. Some solder in there. Run that through there, bring it out. We'll do this one next, right here. And we'll come in here. That flux is going to heat up quick. So when it does, it hits that solder and lets it flow like water. And does it quick enough that it does not melt my plastic railroad ties that are in here. Just like so. And that's done. And then over here on this side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to hit that flux, bring that solder in. You just run it right along that rail like so. Just like that. And we're done. Now, let this cool a second and I'll show you what my final test is here. Run your finger along the top of that rail. You want to make sure there's nothing there. You want to make sure there's no solder up there. Now, just to be sure, I use a small piece of sandpaper. I use 120 grit and just gently roll over the top of those rails, like so. Make sure they're good and shiny. And you'll notice that none of those ties are damaged or melted. That flux allows that solder to flow in there quick enough that you don't overheat those plastic ties. In my next video, we will show you how to install your feeder wires and solder those to your rail, like so. Folks, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day. Thank you.